Hey guys, Creator Mom, happy Tuesday. I want to tell you what is the scariest part of belief. Belief shapes what you see. Like belief shapes your story around what you are seeing. And it makes it feel real and factual. So this is the tricky thing about belief. I guess that's why we shouldn't really judge others, right? Because we can hold our beliefs and choose to see the world through our beliefs, but realize that we're seeing through the lens of our beliefs, and so are other people. So anyways, this movie called The Lost Child, or I don't know if it's The Lost Boy or The Lost Child. I think it's The Lost, either or. It's on YouTube. It's a really, really, really good movie. It's a great movie because they make you think that something supernatural is happening or demonic, when really it's not. But they even had the viewer, they had me thinking that something demonic was going on too, when in actuality it was all it was all people seeing events through their belief system, so it seemed like that, It was crazy. So what happens is this woman, she gets discharged from the military. Anyway, she goes back home, and her father lived deep in the country, like like a little shacky house in the middle of the woods. Well, it's real. How can I say it? That area is very immersed in a lot of superstitious beliefs, also and also a lot of belief in the demonic. So their lives are very shaped by this. And this lady goes to her dad's house in the woods, whatever. She stays there for a bit, and she's in the woods, and she finds this boy in the woods. And she takes him home, of course, because, he's like 10 or 11 years old, has no parents, nothing. So, he tells her his name and everything. Well, anyways, turns out this kid has amazing survival skills. Like, he knew how to catch a bird, chop its head off, cook it, stuff like that. Take its feathers off and all that. Good kid. But the movie makes you think this kid is demonic, because what happens is when the lady takes the kid in, suddenly she starts to become sick. She gets really sick, and her hair starts falling out a little bit and coughing a lot. She goes to their doctor, but the doctor also views some things out of his spiritual beliefs as well. And when she tells the doctor that she got sick after this young boy come to live with her, he assumed that he had this demon, right? That when it kind of hides in the body of a child, and it comes live with you, and it steals your life or whatever, it kind of takes your energy. So she starts to believe this a bit. The superstitions start to get a hold of her mind because she's sick. So she sees some evidence, but the evidence is starting to be shaped by these beliefs that everyone has. And she's like, it's starting to make sense in her head. So she tells this guy, and there were some other things too, like this other superstitious dude. He would hang out in the woods and make fires, in the woods. And she asked him, why are you doing this? And he said, it helps purify things here in the woods. And then he tells her that kid is, because the doctor gave her the specific name of this demon, and she asked that guy in the woods, you know about this? And he's like, yeah, you better get that kid out of your house, So then he was like, well, if you want proof, put these nails shaped in a triangle on top of your door, and if he has that demon, or if it's that demon, he won't be able to go into the house. So she does it, and the kid doesn't go in the house. So that's another piece of like evidence that leads her to believe that this story is true or whatever. So the kid goes, why did you do that? Why did you put that up there? Anyways, long story short, she calls this guy she knows who works for the social services or whatever. And she tells him, just take him. I'm not gonna, because he asked her to hold him while he figures out where this kid came from, who his parents are, because he won't share any of that information. So she tells the guy, just take him, So she takes him, and now everybody thinks this kid has a demon, and he's in this foster home or whatever, and he's being treated very poorly. So the whole time, the movie had me thinking it too, right? That's how like persuasive it was looking. I was like, Meanwhile, the kid has done nothing wrong. He has done nothing bad. He has been like the sweetest kid, but they told him part of the demon is that it will make you love it. You know what I'm saying? So that tries to convince you even more so, when this kid has done nothing physically wrong to anybody. So anyways, then she, through a series of incidents, she was talking to her long lost brother and he mentioned somehow through their conversation how their dad was allergic to this specific plant. Really bad, just really made him sick, coughing and all that stuff. And it clicks in her head, holy shit. Because in the beginning of the movie, when she first finds that boy, I think he was so thankful that she took him in. He cut that same plant from their front yard and gave it to her like a little bouquet. So ever since the first day he'd been there, those plants, that plant and that flower had also been in the house. And she happened to be allergic as well. So it clicks in her brain, holy shit, I just literally thought this whole time this really good, sweet kid had a demon because I was sick. And the whole time, actually, it was the flower that was in the house making me sick. The movie also had me thinking that he did that on purpose. Like he knew, like it was a poisonous plant, but it wasn't poison. It's just that she happened to be allergic. So she goes to the social services guy and she's like, oh my God, let's get him back, blah, blah. She gets him back and she's like, I'm never letting you go again. Like, I'm going to protect you. Like, I'm so sorry. So she ends up keeping him, which is really cool. So yeah, that movie was like, wow. I was tricked as the viewer, which is good. That was the intention, to have the viewer being unsure as well, you know what I'm saying? To be almost half convinced that maybe something was weird about this kid. She did get him out of the woods after all, and he wouldn't share any information about where he came from. Another thing is that she went to his little shelter. He built like a shelter with sticks in the woods. She went to his shelter. She found a magazine that had an address. But in the country, there's a lot of back hollers and things like that. So anyway, she ends up finding this old road, and she finds the house that he came from. Realized actually he was quite abused. The dad was a meth addict or whatever, and he actually was dead in the house. He had an overdose. But he was abusing the kid, by punishing him, by locking him like in a chicken coop and stuff like that. I think the social worker knew that the kid had been abused a bit in a way because how well-mannered he was. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad to say, right? It's a kid that's severely well-mannered. They do that out of fear sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because they already, like the guy said in the movie, what did he say? oh, that the kid looked like he had been straightened out once or twice because he was very well mannered, like calling everybody sir and ma'am and stuff like that. Really, really sweet kid. The child actor in the movie did a phenomenal job as well. So it was really good. But yeah, my whole point is that the movie really made me realize how strongly people's beliefs shape the events that they see. You know what I'm saying? Like the observed fact was the lady did become sick after the kid came to live with her. But two different stories could be created, right? Like there's the one story about the demon and the superstition, and then the other story that actually she's allergic to the plant that he brought into the house. You know what I'm saying? There's two, which didn't end up being a belief. She actually was reacting to the plant. But anyways, yeah, their belief. And you know what? It doesn't go to say that their belief is wrong or that those people never experienced demonic things or whatever. Maybe they did, but maybe their belief got in the way of them seeing the situation clearly. They didn't, and in all fairness, if the doctor knew that she was allergic to that plant or that plant was in the house, or investigated just a little bit more, because he was asking her questions to figure out why she was sick. But she failed to mention that about bringing that plant, that he brought that bouquet of plants, flowers in the house. If the doctor would have known that, he might have questioned that too and not leaned so much into the fact that this kid was a demon or had a demon. So in all fairness, he did seem a little level-headed. But then really not so much, because when she decided to take the kid in, realizing like, oh God, so stupid, I thought he had a demon. But then she took him to church, probably the worst place, because now these people think this kid has a demon. But the doctor was there and sitting from afar and kind of staring at the kid like with a mean face, and the kid's like, I don't think they want me here. So who knows if she told the doctor what was going on in actuality. But anyways, this is dragging out. My point is that sometimes our pre-existing beliefs can shape the way that we see things, and sometimes it can be wrong, sadly. That's just like the downside of beliefs. But beliefs can also be very powerful in a good way for us, in a personal way. All right, everyone, that's all I wanted to share. Peace.